In this video, we're going to be looking at the scenarios tool or business scenarios. I'm going to click this. We're going to go over to the scenarios tool. First thing is I'm going to do file new scenario set, and we're going to call this movies questions. So scenarios is a place where you can record sort of the graph problem that you're trying to solve, or maybe a set of problems you're trying to solve. I call them scenarios, or we call them scenarios, because not every time it's not always a question. It might be something more complex. But in this case, we're going to look at some questions. So first question is, I want to know who has produced the most movies, and I'm going to copy this from a text editor outside of this tool. You can of course type in here like so, but you can click here in the title to change it. So we'll call this like movie producers. This, of course, you don't have to do that, but it's nice to categorize that, especially if you want to add more than one question here. But I'm going to add another scenario, so it's another block. And the second question is, or actually this is not even a question, it's a request to recommend an actor that Keanu hasn't acted with. So I'm going to call this one actor recommendations. Now, what you do next, of course, it depends on how you do your development process, etc. Quite often what people want to do is they want to start sort of creating a conceptual data model. And this tool supports that. You can actually start modeling right in here. There is a modeling tool here, but you can actually start your model here. So what you can do is you can either choose an existing model. In this case, I'm going to create a model. And then we get this, I guess, data model section over on the right. Like if I click it, it expands out. It's blank at the moment. I'm just going to resize my screen there. Now, how to think about data modeling to answer these questions? Well, first of all, I want to kind of think about what are the important concepts in my in this business. In this case, we're talking about movies. So I'm going to double click this. I have the option here to add a node label. So I'm going to do that. And when I do that, it gets added to my data model over here. You can also add things over here directly if you want. I'm going to delete that. So that's one thing I need to know about movies. I also need to know about producers. So like who has produced the most movies. So let me think about that. So I'm going to add that as a node label. But produce is a verb. So really I want to know, I guess, the producer of the movie. And then once I have the producer, and I'm going to call this a movie, then I want to, I guess I need a relationship between them. So you can, of course, draw the relationship here. I'm going to use this thing here. I'll click on it again, add a relationship type. My start label here would be producer. My end label would be movie. I can add that. So we have a producer that's added a movie. So I think that kind of would be a good graph model for, or at least a starter graph model for this question. Now let's look at the next question. I need to know about actors. So let's add that. So, well, we think Keanu's an actor, so we don't need to re-add that. But we want to know who has Keanu acted with. So let's do this. Let's add a relationship type. And actors act with other actors, so we can do something like this. Actor acted with another actor. And we'll do this. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, that's great. But thinking a little bit outside these two questions, just thinking about the movies in general, we know that actors act in movies. So maybe I want to do something like this. And I can say like, acted in like that. So this might be a good sort of way to start your sort of graph journey. Think about the questions that you want to have answered, and then start conceptualizing what it looks like in graph form. The end of this video. In the next video, we'll go a little bit farther and expand on what we can do to keep implementing this example. Thanks.